So hello everybody. My name is Dreamer. I was raised out here in California. I, this is my first time doing this. I've never done this spoken word stuff. I'm more into like music stuff and rapping, and a lot of my music does have a lot of poetry. I feel like I think music is poetry. It's just a way of people just kind of like just expressing how they feel and the way they were raised and all that. So I'm just here trying to tell you guys a little bit of my story. I've kind of worked on this a little bit. Just bear with me. Okay. So here it is. He was 3 years old when his pops came to the north for a better life for his kids, leaving behind his wife and 3 children to wonder what had happened. No one knew the outcome of his action. Eventually, all ended up in the new world with no knowledge of the culture and society that was upon him. Dazed and confused, he was victimized for his poor English and still wondering why do people judge him for the appearance and his accent. At school, he couldn't seem to fit in with other kids simply for being a little different. Dropping the good guy ways, he was forced to turn into someone who he thought that was the way to be. Not knowing this will come with a lot of consequences that will have him in the world that he had never expected. He had no guidance. Maybe it was from the spare time all the 3 kids had due to a single mom working 3 jobs with no man to depend on. The boy with no one to turn to and no one to lead him correctly, just a role model that taught him the wrong side of things instead of the other way around. It was called the streets. The streets taught him how to be a person that he wasn't meant to be. He was meant to be a good person and got taught the wrong ways. So he decided, I'm sorry about that. And give me 1 second. All he had left was his environment that the streets had taught him. Even though he knew better, his mom raised him better, he decided to do things that later on he will end up regretting. Sooner than later, he ended up having a baby that changed his lifestyle, his way of thinking, and his environment developed in a better way. He changed his ways and he thought to himself, maybe this is not the way I need to be. Maybe being a father is what I'm meant to be. So he decided, okay, well, the streets is always going to be there, but my son will always need me. He will never have another father like me. A lot of fathers out here, they decide to be deadbeat fathers. They decide to not be there in their their kid's life. But not my son. My son will always be a part of me, and I will always be a part of my son.
Oh.
And that is him. Thank you.
You have another one?
I have a lot of some other stuff like lyrics that I have for another stuff, but it's kind of like
A different vibe. You want to come back?
yeah. I mean, I could just
Okay.
I could just show you the beginning. It's kind of like the beginning of one of my songs that I have to record, but I just gave you the top part. So it starts. They call us crazy for the lifestyle that we live in. There's nothing we can do. We grew up a little different. Some call it the hood, but all I see is my environment. Product of las calles, the streets. Now, you know what? I'm just gonna keep that. It's kind of rated R. It goes back to street stuff, and I try to keep it PG for kids and stuff.
Where are you from?
Me, I'm from. I'm from Mexico. I was born in Mexico. I was brought out here when I was 3 years old, and I've been out here in the Bay Area and Santa Ana over there by LA. So I kind of back and forth, just 1 year over there, 1 year over here. So it's kind of like I have a little vibe of the Southern Cali kind of ways, and I have a vibe of you know, like the Bay Area because of the way I grew up. You know, my mom's out here and my pop's down there, so that's kind of my life in a way.
What made you start rapping?
Honestly, it was just like the way people express themselves. Sometimes, you know, like you talk to people and you can't really express yourself the way you could express yourself in the song and in your lyrics. You know, you put your heart out in the right words, the way you want them, like calculated right, instead of just blurring them out and you're like, I don't even know what I just said, kind of. You know, like sometimes people say something when they're mad, for example, and they don't really mean it. You know, they say things that they regret. So I feel like rapping is kind of like it's kind of like poetry. Yeah, obviously it's poetry, but it's more like your feelings, putting them together and just creating a music so someone could just listen to. You can never know. You could probably change somebody's life with just a song. You know, like a lot of songs have a lot of power, a lot of energy, and that's energy you put into a song that has energy you're gonna impact in somebody's life. You know.
Yeah. What's your latest single?
My latest single, it's called. Sorry, can't remember which one it is. 'Cause
you got so many.
Yeah, I'm over here like because I'm working on so many projects.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah. So the guy that he's gonna pull up right now. That's that's a producer that he's kind of like he gives me my beats and you know he records me and you know so you'll meet him. But yeah, my last single was it's called Me and the Homies.
Oh, nice.
It's called Me and the Homies, and it's kind of like you know a little glimpse of how we live in a way, you know. You know, we're good people, you know, but we just have different lifestyle and different aspects, and in the way I kind of didn't finish my spoken word because I was like literally like I'm just gonna be honest, you know. I was like kind of like procrastinated. I was procrastinated, you know, like last moment thing. But my point on the spoken word was that I was trying to make everyone understand, like, you know, it's just not about how you see a person. It's the way you know a person. It's like, okay, I could see anybody, right, and I'm not gonna judge them for the way they look. I'd rather just get to know them and be like, okay, well, you know what, he looks mean or she looks mean, but he's a good person, you know, like, or what about if that person looks good and he's an a-hole, you know, like, he's a prick, you know, like, so appearance doesn't matter at the end of the day, you know, it's reality, it's the heart, you know, and in a way that was kind of the thing I wanted to put in my spoken word, but I'm kind of an amateur to this, so I hope you guys, you know, enjoy it. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind today.
The first piece you did on the perspectives of fatherhood.
Yes.
Did you write that?
I actually did not. I did not.
I was all relating to you.
Actually, the last part, like, you know how I started reading and I kind of started like studying a little bit. At that moment, I was kind of freestyling it. I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna say what I have to say, what I have here, you know, like, and what I do have in there is my son, you know, he's like, that's everything to me, you know, and he saved my life. I could say that. He changed the way of thinking, and even though I'm not completely changed, you know, like, go to church every Sunday or, you know, like, I'm still the old me, but in a better version.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say, you know, like, I'm not trying to be the little kid that was doing dumb stuff, you know. I'm a grown man now and I have grown man decisions to make, and you know, I feel like anybody could do that. A lot of my friends, they have kids and they don't attend to them like the way they should, and which I feel that it's messed up, you know. But I can't think for everybody, but I hope my message and the way that I have my son and, you know, I take care of him and everything, I hope that kind of rubs off on one of my friends, and have a good family with their life, you know, with their kids and wife, or even if they have a wife or whatever. But it's just about the kids at the end of the day, because we bring kids to this world and then they end up suffering for our mistakes, and that's not right, because it's like they wasn't meant for no, they wasn't asked to be here. You know, we brought him here, so it's like as parents we could only do so much as take care of them at least. You know, like don't forget about our kids. My situation, it's you know, it's unheard of a lot, but all I can say is that I try to be the best father I can be, and my son is I should have brought him, but I didn't know. She has her son too, and she was gonna bring him, but I just.
We went first at the kids.
Yeah. We were like, should we bring him? Should we not? Like, is it a kid friendly part? Like, we didn't know. You know? Yeah, so I was. Yeah, hopefully next time, you know, I'll bring him and everybody gets to meet him. He's a great kid.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's very well mannered, well behaved.
Good job. And good question.
My son is 6 years old. He's about to be 7 next month, actually. Yeah,
Watch out.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I got him on lock though. Don't worry about it. He goes on time out and everything. You know. Yeah, no, he's a good boy because you know other people be like, oh yeah, you know, I want my son to be just like me. Like nah, like I have a little brother. I'm gonna just sidetrack a little bit. But I have a little brother that he was started to be like really rebellious and started to teenage stuff, getting out of school, kicking it with his friends, stuff like that. And I always told him, if you're gonna be in that lifestyle, you're gonna be with me, and I'm gonna have you with me, or you better be doing good, And he decided to, at one point he tried to do crazy stuff, and I'm like, okay, let me show you what's crazy. Right?
Oh no!
And then he kind of got scary. So I'm like, okay, well, get your butt back to school, and you be a good boy. My mom was calling me. She was like, oh well, your brother's behaving badly. He's this, and then they're calling, crying and stuff, and I'm over here like, okay, well, this is where I come in as a man, because he doesn't have his father, so I have to be that father figure for him. And I eventually he kind of taller than me almost, and he kind of stood up to me like he was gonna do something. So me as a big brother, I've never done this, but I had to put my hand on my little brother. I smacked him in the face. He fell to the bed, and then he just looked at me, and he was just like, man. I'm like, see, man, you think this doesn't hurt me? And he kind of just got the hang of it, of what I was trying to tell him, and he ended up kind of changing his life around, and what he did, because he's a Marine now.
Wow.
He's a Marine, and my mom, she sees it like, well, she's proud of him, and at least I'm just grateful that she's proud of one of us, If it wasn't me, at least let it be my brother, and I'm just happy that she's happy, But I don't know if she sees the bigger picture of that I kind of pushed him away because he was trying to be a lot in that lifestyle, the bad lifestyle, and I hope she understands that I did it all for her. I didn't want him to be. I mean, honestly, for me, I wanted him to be like a little me, right? So now I couldn't do that to my mom twice, So that was it was a life changing thing for him, I guess. Hopefully, that kind of that shows my mom that what, I'm not that bad as you think it is.
Aww.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. And,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you
I
guys so
wanted
much.
to mention that I could really feel your passion for father, but
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really do mean it when I say that about my son, and thank you for really noticing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people they think he's just lying about that, but nah, I do everything for my son. I'll give everything else for my son for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much. You guys been great.
Before you eat or after?
what was your name again?
My name's
before. Yeah.
My real name's Jesus. Jesus, yeah, Jesus. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. You're like 1 out of 10 people that know my name. Yeah.
Your name again?
Atosha.
Atosha?
Would you have like an Instagram?
Yeah, I
See
do.
more of your art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Atosha.
Atosha. So Atosha is next, but she got to get her Instagram together. So and follow everybody on Instagram. But you got a polenta too. Did you know it came with the polenta?
Nope. I just saw the chicken and the
Coincidence.
mushrooms.
And that's what you want. We talked it into existence.
Thank you. Okay, so my name is Atosha. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Which means enough in Swahili. The piece I'm performing today, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Just because it's basically
Both
small.
of them from yesterday were
Both
great.
of them. I just had it. Okay, I'm gonna start. Can I perform 2 pieces?
Mhm.
I'm gonna do the same ones.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is called Without This Bag. From a very young age, I always had a bag with me. As if from a young age, I realized that home was never going to be a place, but my family and the things I carried in my bag are what made up home. So, everywhere I went, I had a bag as if the bag carried memories I didn't want to forget. Like sitting around the fire in Zambia under the night sky, telling stories with the neighborhood kids. Like tasting snow for the first time in Tennessee and realizing that it wasn't rice falling from the sky. Like living in homeless shelters in Minnesota. Those were hard times for my parents, but as a child, all I cared for was the warmth I felt as my 8 siblings and I squeezed in one bedroom. The laughter we shared in the small living room. Mama and Papa told stories, waiting for the nsima in the summer to finish cooking on the stove. And through all these memories, I had a bag as if I was taking notes of these memories and stuffing them in my bag so that the next time we have to pack up and find a new place to live, all the memories of the places I've been to were right there with me in my bag. The more memories I had, the more I tried to organize them so it would be easier to pull out certain memories, like turn to the dark ages, aka middle school. When I thought that the universe had something against me and gave me the hardest life ever. When I tried to hide my insecurities behind the clothes that I wore, and like many black girls, I thought I was cute with my permed hair and bangs that were flying over my forehead. The older I get, the more I find myself looking through these memories because it's so easy to forget where I come from. And when things get hard, it's easy to try and run away from these memories. Like the memories full of pain and regret. Sometimes I want to erase these memories, throw in my bag, start all over and be a new person. But this bag is always holding me back, its weight dragging me down, always reminding me of the painful memories I want to forget. Every time I try to run, this bag just won't let me escape. Instead, it reminds me of where I come from. When I'm ashamed of my accent, this bag reminds me that I am from the motherland, where Swahili is my first language, Chinyanja my second. So maybe I will never say some words with an American accent. So when I speak and someone asks me, where are you from? This bag reminds me to never be ashamed of saying I am from the motherland. When I'm falling in love all over again, my bag reminds me that because of my past heartaches, I know that settling for less is never an option. To never let anyone make me feel like I'm not good enough. My bag reminds me that with every heartache, there's a lesson to learn because pain is your greatest teacher. Without this bag, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Without this bag, when I tried to escape from my past, there would be nothing holding me back to remind me that I am stronger because of the memories in this bag. Without this bag, I wouldn't understand that my past is not something to be ashamed of, but something to carry with me with pride. Without this bag, I am nothing.
Wait to the next one. Wait to the next one.
next one is. It's making me sad.
Sorry.
Well, you painted a very nice visual. Because the part about cooking, I was trying to picture it in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one. The next one is called Strengthen Our Bloodline. I wrote this piece specifically for Black History Month. So we'll see how it goes in this space. Quick introduction. In Zambia, when the sun set, the kids in the neighborhood would gather around a fire and start telling stories. If you had a story, you would say, once upon a time, and everyone else around would respond with time, story time. So I know you're eating, but if you can, every time I say once upon a time, I want you to say time, story time. So we're going to practice that. Once upon a time.
Time, story
Okay,
time.
that was good. And as I'm performing, if you can relate to anything, you can snap your fingers, do what you want, or just be here like you were the last part. So, once upon a time.
Time, story time.
Once upon a time.
Time, story time.
Once upon a time.
Time, story time.
This is the endless story of the strength that runs in our bloodline. Once upon a time.
Time, story time.
Black history did not begin in chains. It began with the first heartbeat, the first breath, the first cry, and this is not even the half of it. Black history did not begin in chains. It began with kingdoms of Mali, Songhai, Kush, and Ghana. Yes, where our own civilizations began with Duli, Geese, Kwadi, Ajawa, Berti, Ngasa, yes, with our own languages, and still this is not even the half of it. So what makes you think you can squeeze Black history in 28 days? And no, adding an extra day is still not enough. So let your Black soul be the roadmap to this story, because if you listen closely, your soul will teach you about your history of the 365 days that you're Black. Once upon a time,
Time, story time.
swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Don't let this be a story you carry with shame, because this too is a story about the strength that runs in our bloodline. Because from the moment Black bodies filled those slave ships, they resisted their capture. Some fought and took over ships, while others jumped in the water, because death tasted more like freedom. Even when freedom was taken away, Black slaves found a way in their souls. Their souls sang, they sang of freedom. They sang spiritual songs, how the soul of the Black slave spoke to man. Once upon a time,
Time, story time.
follow the drinking gourd, follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. And even when they found freedom, white hands turned Black bodies into strange fruit. From the south to the north, Black bodies swung in the breeze as if death was the only way they could taste freedom. But even in the story of this nightmare, Black people resisted, they boycotted, they marched, filling the streets with freedom songs. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hill and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain, to set my people free. They built their own communities and became the rose that grew from concrete. Despite all the laws that were put in place to break them, they rose in the nightmare that had no sunlight. They made their own light by becoming their They made their own light by keeping their dreams, and they dreamed and dreamed and dreamed out of the huts of history's shame. They dreamed up from a past that's rooted in pain. They dreamed the dream of freedom, and with this dream they found a way to grow from concrete. And with this dream we'll continue to rise with the scars and strains over our past tattooed on our Black bodies, still rising and reaching for the sun. Once upon a time,
story time.
so when you speak about Black history, don't speak about it with shame. Speak about the pain, but speak about our strength too, because our strength did not end with slavery. No, it did not end with MLK's dream. Our strength is in the blood that flows in our Black bodies. Our strength is in the blood that flows in our Black bodies. It's the Black soul that continues to sing about freedom. It's in our bent knees, our raised fists, our linked arms. It's in the way we It's in the way we move our bodies to the rhythm of our heartbeats. It's in the food we eat. It's in the stories we tell. Once upon a time.
Time, story time.
Let your black soul be the roadmap to this story. Let it sing freedom songs in the way your hair grows out of your scalp, the way your body moves through this world unapologetically, the way your dreams give you strength to keep rising and reaching for the sun. Once upon a time.
Time, story time.
This is the endless story of the strength that runs in our bloodline.
Wow.
Good thing I went before her.
Are you the producer he was talking about?
Yeah.
You want to talk about your business? Your production company? No, you okay? You sure? You're not selling beats?
No.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Once again, I'm overwhelmed with passion.
Thank you.
I am having difficulty holding the tears back.
That means a lot to me.